Now, when we use filters like this, it seems very useful, and it is. We can use it to transform certain outputs. Think about formatting a date by putting, let's say, a date filter, which you create your own, where you then are able to configure the date or how it should be displayed. But oftentimes you think that a filter might solve a certain solution, and there is a better alternative available, and that would be a computed property. Let me show you an example. Imagine we have an array of fruits here. Now there we may have an apple, we may have a banana, and we may have a mango, hope that is the name, and a melon. So we got 4 fruit items there. Now it would be convenient to now be able to have it output as a list here and then filter when we type in an input field. So let's do this. I'll add a horizontal line. I'll add an input where I want to bind to, or with vModel, to the filter text property, which I'll also create. So here we got filter text, which is empty at the beginning. And with that filter text here, I want to filter this unordered list where I loop with v4 and loop through my fruit in fruits like this. This allows me to output fruit here. Now, if we have a look at this, what we see, of course, is our 4 fruits. That is normal Vue.js code as we learned it. We're not using any filters here. Now, it would be convenient to somehow add a filter here to say only output these fruits which match our filtered text. So if we enter a M in there, we only want to output fruit which starts with a M, let's say. So it would be convenient to say, and then here, this filter somehow, pipe filter after fruits. Now the issue with such a filter is that this is very suboptimal from a performance perspective. Vue.js is not able to handle this greatly in the background, as it is not able to detect when it should rerun the filter and when not. Actually, it will rerun the filter upon each re-rendering of the DOM. This, of course, is a huge performance hit, because maybe you didn't change this input here, but still it needs to rerun the filter because it doesn't know that. So this really is bad for performance. Hence, filters have been kind of limited in what they can do in Vue.js 2.0. That was different in Vue.js 1.0 as a side note. So what could we do in such a case where we want to filter an existing list? We can use a computed property. We already learned about these earlier in the course. The great thing about computed properties is Vue.js knows on what such a property depends and therefore only recalculates it if something changes in the things we use in this property or in this method it is then in the end. So let me demonstrate this. Here I want to add a new property, filtered fruits. This is actually a method, as all computed properties are. And here I want to return my fruits array. And since it is an array, I can call the filter method on this ES6 method. The filter method now takes a callback, which is executed on each element in this array. The element is then passed automatically as an argument to this callback. Now in this callback, I have to return all the elements I want to keep in this new array I'm generating, in this filtered fruits array that is. It is a method, but keep in mind, behind the scenes, Vue.js will create a property based on this method, which is then recreated whenever some input changes. So whenever fruits changes, or, as I will soon implement it, filter text. So here I want to return each element which matches this filter text, so the text entered by the user. This computed property will only be recalculated whenever filter text or fruits changes. Therefore, it's very performant. It's not doing any unnecessary calculations. And I can hence simply loop through my filtered fruits here. That's a great alternative to a filter. Now, if we have a look, this still works, but if I enter M for mango or melon, we only see these two. If I enter A for apple, we only see this. If I have a lowercase a, we see banana and mango because these two have a lowercase m. If I now enter an, we see only banana and mango because these are the only two words which have an character sequence in them. So this shows you how to create a better filter with Vue.js. This is not using Vue.js filters at all. We do that with the uppercase filter, but for more complex transformations, you want to use a computed property. And that is something to keep in mind. Filters can be a nice solution, but oftentimes computed properties are the better solution. They can be more fine-tuned to your needs and they are more performant. So keep this in mind when working with filters. You may of course use the normal filter here, but again, definitely think about using a computed property instead.